Factors affecting stakeholder performance on skills of construction workers in multi-story building projects in Palu City. Abstract: the purpose of this study is to determine the factors that have the most significant influence on improving the skills of construction workers based on the perspective of satisfaction, contribution, strategy, process, and capabilities of stakeholders so that they can provide recommendations for improvement, recommendations for solutions in an effort to improve the skills of construction workers on the project multi-story building in Palu City. The research method used is Analytical Hierarchy Process, AHP, which aims to select one of the most dominating alternatives from several factor criteria in the form of a process hierarchy. Keywords: Analytical Hierarchy Process, AHP, Capability, Contribution, Performance, Construction Workface Process, Project, Satisfaction, Stakeholders, Strategy. Introduction. Palu City is currently focused on improving infrastructure development to support the welfare of the community. In carrying out infrastructure development, careful planning, appropriate supervision of SOPs, and implementation of construction that achieves project objectives, namely cost, quality, and time, will certainly affect the quality of the project itself. This is greatly influenced by the quality of the skills of the construction workforce. Therefore, it is necessary to analyze the performance of stakeholders because they are parties involved in the project, in order to improve the skills of the construction workforce in order to achieve the goals of the company and improve quality so as to increase the competitiveness of companies in the construction industry. 2. Literature review. Definition of performance. According to Mohariono, 2009, quoted from Kismawati, 2015, the definition of performance is a representation of the success rate of implementing an activity program or policy in achieving the goals, objectives, vision, and mission of the organization that have been set in strategic planning. Based on the previous definition of performance, it can be concluded that performance is the level of success of a person and is fully responsible for achieving the goals or plans that have been previously set. The performance in this study is the success of the stakeholders in their efforts and responsibilities towards coaching and improving the skills. Fahirah F. Lecture, Department of Magister Engineering Titilaco University Palu City, Sulawesi Tenggara, Indonesia of the construction workforce to achieve planned goals. In simple terms, stakeholders are stated as parties, across actors, or parties related to an issue or a plan. Definition of stakeholders. According to Zulfan and Hannah, 2013, stakeholders can be defined as all parties related to the issues and problems that are being reviewed. Stakeholders in this case can also be called stakeholders. Public institutions have used the term stakeholder broadly in the processes of making and implementing a decision. See Analytical Hierarchy Process, AHP. According to Yadrofil and Sarifuddin, 2013, Analytical Hierarchy Process, AHP, is a method that is systematically arranged in sorting rankings and selecting one alternative choice from various criteria options in making a decision. By using the AHP method, decision makers can choose effective alternatives according to the criteria and considerations of their decisions, sorting into the rankings of each alternative needs according to the level of feasibility and needs. The AHP method has advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of the AHP method mentioned by Suryati, 2000, and Tanyonampano, 2006, in Wibowo, 2011, are explained, namely, 1. It can solve complex problems, irregular structure arrangement, or unsystematic problems. 2. Incomplete written data or quantitative data on the problem does not affect the smoothness of the decision-making process because values are a combination of opinions from various respondents' perspectives. 3. Synchronization with the basic human ability to interpret a value so as to provide easy assessment and measurement of elements. Apart from having advantages, of course, a method also has drawbacks. The weaknesses of the AHP method are mentioned in Arifin, 2017, namely, 1. The scale used is the pairwise comparison scale of value intervals from 1 to 9, It can have a different point of view from the respondent so that the results are different. 2. The data used in this method is primary data from the results of the questionnaire survey on the project. 3. Research methodology. This research was conducted at the project for construction of the theory building and microbiology. Lab, Faculty of Medicine, University of Titilaco and parties related to the object of research related to the construction project, namely suppliers. This research is planned to be carried out in July 2020 until it is completed. The sampling technique in this research is purposive sampling technique. Alfianika 9 2018, states that purposive sampling technique is more suitable for qualitative research because the sampling must be based on scientific considerations. The number of samples in this study were 8 people consisting of 3 PPK people, 2 service users, 2 construction management consultants and 3 service providers, suppliers. The operational variables in this study are the independent variables and the dependent variable. The dependent variable is how effective the stakeholder is in improving the skills of construction workers in multi-story building projects in Palu City. Independent variables are factors that can affect stakeholder performance. The indicators of the independent variables and the dependent variable are presented in full in Table 1. For discussion. A. Project criteria. This project is located at Titilaco University, JL Soekarno Hatta Kilometer 9. The work unit in this project is Titilaco University with contract number 4291/UN.28/LL/2020 dated August 6, 2020. This project budget is IDR 9,994,997,000, 9,994,997,000 of rupiah. The project implementation period is 148 calendar days or until December 31, 2020. The construction of this building is intended as a room for student learning and practicum. The implementation of this project is limited to structural work from the foundation to the roof plate. B. Analytic Hierarchy Process. Based on the results of data analysis obtained using the Analytic Hierarchy Process, Ahp Method, the most dominant factor affecting the performance of stakeholder satisfaction indicators in an effort to improve the skills of construction workers in the theory building construction project and the microbiology lab, Faculty of Medicine, University of Titilaco can be seen in Fig 1. For stakeholder contribution factors explains that regular training for the workforce is needed to improve the skills and expertise of the construction workforce, especially the project on the theory building construction project and the microbiology lab, Faculty of Medicine, Titilaco University. Stakeholders should contribute to improving the skills of construction workers through regular training and certification for construction workers. When viewed from the indicators of stakeholder satisfaction, a competent workforce is a very influential factor with the highest percentage in improving the skills of construction workers. This can be increased through engaging the construction workforce in training and certification to upgrade individual skills. In Fig 5 explains that in implementing a project, the factors of material, and labor are the most important factors in the project for the construction of the theory building project and the microbiology lab, Faculty of Medicine, Titilaco University. Occupational health policy factors through the ease of use of health insurance with insurance agencies and companies and free medical facilities for construction workers are indicators of stakeholder processes to increase motivation of construction workers so as to improve the skills and competence of construction workers. Stakeholders must ensure that each construction workforce is included in the construction workforce health program or finance in cash if a construction worker is sick during the contract period. Stakeholder must be able to resolve conflict problems, or complaints from the project owner that occurred during the implementation of the theory building construction project and the microbiology lab, Faculty of Medicine, Titilaco University. One way to minimize the occurrence of conflict is the existence of joint measurements with stakeholders and documentation in order to obtain accurate data and according to specifications. V. Conclusions. The conclusions of this study are 1. Factors that influence stakeholder. Performance in terms of stakeholder satisfaction indicators indicate that the expertise and competence of construction workers are the most important factors in this project. Two factors that affect stakeholder performance in terms of stakeholder contribution indicators show that regular training for workers is needed to improve the skills and expertise of construction workers in this project. Three factors that affect stakeholder performance in terms of stakeholder strategy indicators show that stakeholders must be able to control and schedule mobilization and ensure the availability of materials, equipment, and labor so that work delays do not occur due to material shortages. Four factors affecting stakeholder performance in terms of stakeholder process indicators indicate that occupational health policy factors through the ease of use of health insurance with insurance agencies and companies and free medical facilities for construction workers. Five factors that influence stakeholder performance in terms of stakeholder ability indicators show that stakeholders must have a good performance, especially how conflict resolution skills are in human resource management and experienced complaint handling speed.